Lisa Kindle Art presents the weekly creative wellness chat with Lisa and Raditia. I am your host, artist Lisa Kindle, talking about my signature wellness color training, the color affirmation method. Joining me is Raditia Lasry, mindfulness teacher and author. We're going to have a little chat with one of my friends, followers, supporters. She's certified in the color affirmation method, and she's teaching it out in New York along with her own mindfulness practice. What message do you need today? Well, here's the deck. It's got lots and lots of colorful affirmations. There's 9 core signature wellness colors or life path colors. And I use that in my coaching practice, and I teach classes and workshops all over. I was up in Minnesota teaching a workshop there this fall, and I'm hoping to be out in Long Island this summer. Do you want one in your area? I'd love to come and visit you. It's really fun. We do canvases and create our own personal affirmations based on colors and just play with color and have fun. But there is a deeper connection, we make with each other and with ourselves as we connect with the traits we have inside and maybe some things we've forgotten about ourselves. We can think about those and maybe get those back in there, some creative juices flowing that have been dormant for a while. Like, I'm having my cello repaired, and I hate to admit how long it's been since I've regularly practiced, and I used to play semi-professionally, and I studied cello in college, actually. Did you know? I actually have a degree in cello performance from Oxford University in Minneapolis, Minnesota, as well as an art degree and German. So a lot of arts. I love the arts. I love languages. I love music. Music and art are my soul, the core of my soul, and that's why I do what I do. Let's draw a card. Okay, what card is the one we need? Today. It just popped up, and that's the way it works. It's a gold card. Here she comes. I just drew a card. See what she has to say about it. I am wealthy. Money and happiness flow easily to me. So wealth is not all about money, right? Wealth and health. It's not just about money. It's about our whole well-being, and that's what it's all about here. Hello! I told you she was coming. I saw somebody that was live with us, so I drew a card, and it was gold. I am wealthy. Money and happiness flow easily to me. What do you want to say about that? Yellow, this whole radiant, Raditia is her name that joined us, Raditia Lasry, out in New York State. And her name actually means radiant. Radiant being, human being. So it's only appropriate. And we've had, I am optimistic, a yellow card twice this week. So now we've got gold. I think there's a theme. New moon, radiant. What do you want to say about that? Let's hear from you.
Well, I know what's coming in my mailbox today.
What's that?
Some checks, some payments.
Money flowing right to you. That's always nice. We're not going to lie.
Well, let's hope that that's the truth. It's just said it in my email. Who knows if my emails are right? We'll find out.
I actually brought my little set of flashcards I created for my workshops in Minnesota. I mentioned earlier when I was given the intro here today, the workshops I created up north, I created some fun flashcards that are laminated like 5x7-ish, and this is a bonus set, and I actually just created a little mini set as a bonus for people. If they want it, they can let me know. And they have even different images, different affirmations. But here you see the pictures. So if you use this in your classroom or in a clinical setting, it might just inspire or motivate somebody there. So for gold is a resilient warrior are the characteristic and trait of a gold life path person. And then on the back, you get some of the traits. So some of the traits you might identify with, even if it's not your life path color, maybe today you want to think about this. Are you capable, adventurous, romantic, honest, independent, expressive, strong-willed, no comment, teacher, not judgmental, motivated, wealthy? And the affirmation for gold on the flashcard is I am strong. So take the affirmation you need today. Let's hear from Raditia. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do and any comments you have about gold.
Wow, a lot of thoughts around gold. All right, so I'm in the realm of mindfulness, trying to help people be present and aware. And actually, all the things you mentioned on that card are a representation of what I do. And the first word that when you turned the card around that really stuck out was honest. And I think that's one piece that we sometimes misunderstand. It's not like be honest and be rude. It's more like be honest with how you're feeling in that moment, that sometimes can come across as not, is not as receptive the same way. But again, we want to stay true to ourselves. That's, I think,
be honest with kindness.
There you go. There you go. So that's kind of what stuck out. And then obviously one of the pieces there was non-judgmental. That's like a super important one. Strong-willed, you said we're not talking about a teacher. Well, that's what I consider myself. And so yeah, really those are aspects that I think are very significant for us. And talking about gold, I was talking about it just a few days ago. I did my vision board right there, and in our conversation, right, what was happening is that we were chatting, and obviously not obviously, but like 2025 turns into the number 9, so 9 is gold. So that was really something for this year, and I see it everywhere. I think there was something else that came to mind that is not in my head right now that was gold. And then obviously you pulled the card gold. And so we were in conversation, and I realized like, oh, gold is something that I want to put into that vision board. And that happened then to be one of the first steps, how it started to evolve from a sunflower and then the golden circles around. So yeah. And I have your deck here too.
Do you want to draw a card for us?
I've been trying to. Oh, here we go. Here we go. It just popped out. I am stress free.
I drew that one yesterday for myself. Yeah.
I choose to live in the moment. I mean,
we are in the moment right now.
We are. And would you say that living in the moment is what brings you stress free or makes you stress free? Or what would you say?
I would say that definitely is a key factor. Like, we hear the phrase, I am present, or stay present, be present. And staying in the moment is a part of being present. And I think people kind of, I don't know, I shouldn't say people. It's easy to blow that off because we hear it and we're like, oh, that's all woo, like stay present, But if you're in the moment, as a historical warrior and my cello teacher, I was talking about playing cello and how I'm coming back to that. Growing up all the way through elementary school and into middle school, she was my teacher and she'd call me a worrywart. So I don't know why, but that's carried around. So if you stay in the moment, it's hard to worry. And worry really robs us of joy. And so as I grew up and practiced the things that I practice now, I've learned it doesn't pay to worry. There's nothing to worry about if you're in the moment and you enjoy life. If you allow life to happen to a certain extent, there's nothing we can do about it. So we might as well enjoy it. Yeah. We do the best we can. We take care of our health. We take care of our wealth. We work. We play. We take care of our bodies. We eat right. But other than that, to worry excessively takes away. It robs us of joy that we could be having instead of worrying about the final 2 pounds we want to lose or whatever. Why not just enjoy? And so, yeah, I really believe staying in the moment and not getting too far ahead of ourselves can help us to actually be more productive in our lives as well. Because when we worry too much, it paralyzes us in a way from taking action. And action is what actually moves us forward. So worry is really, it's not something we need to do. So staying in the moment helps us to just, yeah, I think it's a good thing. Because we're not worrying about what's coming next or what happened before. We talk a lot about, in my practice, a lot of release there with the labyrinth. We talk about release and letting go a lot. And the reason that's important is because we're not in the moment. We're thinking about, oh, well, this happened to me in my past and I did this and blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? It doesn't matter. What matters is who you are today.
And you
right now.
also don't know, and I think that's where the labyrinth also really helps, is because you're moving forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Positive.
even if it's slow and steady, but it demonstrates that every step will give you another insight, even if it's not like, whoa, I know what I'm going to do next, but it gives you more insight of why maybe to let go of the past and maybe inviting something of the unknown can lead to something more stress-free.
Right. Like we acknowledge the past.
Yeah.
We acknowledge it. We're aware of it. It's there, but we don't live in it. And when we walk the labyrinth, particularly, we can walk in and be renewed by meditating on what's in our lives now. And we acknowledge and we honor who we have been, who we were, what we did, our lives. But who we are now is what's the most important, and how we're moving forward into the next steps of our lives. That's really what matters the most, I think.
Yeah, and I was just talking about it yesterday and we were reflecting on it as well, right? It's like when sometimes you have these reminders and memories that come up, like we had music yesterday, right?
Yes.
The
Yes.
conversational music is like you look these moments of remembrance of this music piece, for example, you look back on when that happened to now and you reflect back, you start to realize how these small little steps have really created this big picture of 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, but you didn't get to 40 years just by, jumping forward 40, years.
A
It just
lot of things
happened
happen.
because
Yeah.
day by day,
Yeah.
moment by moment, right?
But there are key moments, like we talked about, how do we get where we are, and what were the key things. I think yesterday both of us hit some milestone moments. Like for you were talking about, it was the anniversary of moving to America, and that was a big bold move. When we're talking about Pathfinders, which I'm kind of just throwing the word out there as a teaser a little bit this week, so maybe I'll get into it next week. But we were talking about that as how people in your life can be pathfinders for you, and there's different ones along the way, and guiding us on a journey, and then recognizing those moments. Like for you, it was music, and I was listening to some music from my childhood. Yours was when you were maybe around 20, and how it connects to who we are now. So it's not like you want to forget your past. It's like acknowledging the parts of your past that make you who you are. Do you want to tell a little bit about your moment yesterday and why it was so key for you?
I've been talking about it a bunch because like everybody that's involved in these scenarios or have some real, some kind of recollection of it in their own lives. I just needed to share it. And I recognized that it wasn't about the how it all came together, but just these inspiring little pieces. That was a phone call, for example, right? Me calling someone out of the blue that I was connected with a few years ago, that then connected me to someone else's friend, that then connected me to New York, that then connected me to this next step. And then just, I think that what blew me away is that it literally isn't something that has to be something crazy that I'm investing in, right? And also one really significant piece that I didn't actually acknowledge, but is a part of who I am, is like this courageousness that it requires for you to make that one big step, right? Like for me, was getting on a plane, traveling to New York, and spend a week here to see if I want to go to school here or not. Like that was kind of like a bold move, but at the same time, it wasn't. But I think that's what we sometimes have to do, is to do something that maybe feels strange, maybe feels not what you usually would do. Well, not in my case, but maybe
I
in
was
someone
gonna
else's
say.
case. But something that you maybe do that feels still comfortable enough where it's not out of the world, but still, if you look at the big picture, like somebody else looking at this, like, wow, that was courageous. So I wouldn't consider this. I think that really is something where we need other people to feed back what they see, right? Because we are sometimes in our little small bubble, and if we don't have this exchange of other people's perspective, we don't realize how much we actually have accomplished so far. And I think we do this all the time, where like
Right.
we can't think of it so small. Like we have reached so much, even if it's not showing in like numbers or something, but
Mm-hmm.
it's showing in how we're feeling and how we're in our bodies and how we make a deeper connection with one another. I think that really stuck out to me.
Yeah, and I think while you're talking about what you're doing, I think it goes back to our affirmation today about being in the moment. You are great at that. I think both of us are fairly good at it. Is, you did the thing coming to the U.S. Dean and I moved to Arizona. I've traveled to Europe on my own. I've done a lot of those kind of things because we are willing to take the risk, but we don't see it necessarily as courageous. Ooh, there's a bird here. Hello.
He's like,
Um,
courageous is me.
right? Like we don't think like, oh, I'm doing this big, bold, brave thing necessarily. But when somebody else looks at it, you even said to me, oh, you did that. I haven't even done that here. So we each have our things that we do without thinking because we feel compelled or drawn to do them in some way. It's what we're meant to do in our life. And that's the Pathfinder comes in there and says, okay, in some ways I inspire you, in other ways you inspire me. And so we can be pathfinders for each other. But staying in that moment and recognizing this is the moment. This is the moment I need to embrace. And the other thing I want that came up for me just now, I don't know what this bird's doing. It's a little like right here. He's watching me. There've been a lot of birds here in Hereford. I guess there's like over 500 species of bird. Random moments. It's not a squirrel. It's a bird. But the other thing that came up for me is today is January 31st, and Raditia is the queen of making monthly accomplishment lists. So if you don't follow her and you'll see her amazing list of all the things she gets done. I think she has extra hours in the day, honestly. So
No,
she
I just
inspires
write
me in
all
that,
the things down.
right? So I've been writing my things down daily, well, almost every day. And I was just doing my morning pages. It was just part of my daily routine, and part of why I'm doing the live now this year as a goal is to share more about the lifestyle and the creative wellness practices that I do. But what I would like to do this year, especially, is to do more of that monthly review. So maybe today it's a good reminder to you. Is like, you know what, be in the moment, but also reflect on maybe this first month of the year. It's a whole new beginning. There's a lot of exciting things happening. And I think you would be surprised at how many big things you've done, like amazing things you've done this month. Like, just give yourself a little credit and maybe do a little celebration. What can you celebrate that you did this month for yourself or in your life? For example, for us, we're in the process of moving. We bought a house the very last day of December. It's a month later. I'm sitting here for the first week at our new home, and renewing this dream, starting up the vision again of Soul Quest, picking up where we left off and connecting with new people. That's really the big accomplishment, but there's so many little things, and those little things matter. So take a minute, give yourself 10-15 minutes and think of all the things that you did. Like, what are the accomplishments? I'd love to hear a little bit from other
And
people.
just making dinner counts. Making
Right?
breakfast counts. Waking up, getting dressed. Like those, if these are big things for you that maybe don't happen every day, you count them,
Well,
So
like for today I'll share a picture. So today
Yeah.
I actually made I'm here on my own.
I love it.
Dean will be back tomorrow, and I made myself pancakes. I'm by myself, and some strawberries and my cup of coffee. It felt luxurious. Lit a candle. Do that if that's your celebration. It's worth it to take a minute, put your feet up, and say, "What was the thing? Did I?" Because yeah, doing that, I didn't do it all week. I could do it anytime. But take the time for yourself. Take care of your well-being, not just your wealth, but your health and your just mental health. Right? What do you think? What would you recommend for the end of the month review?
I definitely agree with you. I was actually sharing some similar things, and it's like, don't underestimate these small steps that you're doing. That's why, as small as getting dressed can be a huge accomplishment for some, right? Like I
Mm-hmm.
heard some people talk about winter blues, and like that can be a difficult time. So obviously, in those times when you find a split moment of, again, like that bird that visited you, having this, noticing this bird, and then being, surprised, like that could be an accomplishment, right? If you usually, not in your case, but in somebody else's case, that all of a sudden is more aware of certain small things are happening, and you're like in wonder or in awe, like those are huge.
Right.
And I think I agree
Yes.
with you. We usually underestimate all these little things that happen in our lives that we brush away, like, ah, it's just that, right? Like somebody making a compliment, oh, I love your scarf, I love your outfit, and you're like, ah, it's nothing. No,
So
it's
this whole thing.
something.
No, but you're right. I think that's a good point. Is it doesn't have to be an accomplishment. It can be just a moment that you enjoyed.
Yeah.
Maybe a lunch with a friend you haven't seen, or a phone call. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you
Yeah, and
went and exercised.
I wanted to tell well, who's this, Sarah, she like meditated this morning,
Ah,
exercise video, yeah, see, I mean, this is huge accomplishment. And if you do this, even if you do
give
this,
yourself a little. Yeah.
yeah, go ahead. And so I feel
Hey.
like for me, I've been doing this for almost 2 years now. This is the second or the third year I'm doing these accomplishments. And again, I'm not doing it on an everyday. Yesterday I was like, oh, tomorrow's the 31st. Let me sit down and reflect on the past week. What are some things that stood out for me that I'm still remembering that I did, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I write down cleaning the bathroom, like
Hey,
it's
that's an
sometimes
accomplishment.
it's a huge accomplishment. And so, like I said, I feel like at the end of the day, it's more important to count the small things and not sweat the big stuff. Like, oh, I didn't complete my list today. Like, the list is just there as a reminder. Our to-do lists are
Yeah.
always long. So,
And here's the thing:
yeah.
is here's one of my rules. So anybody can use it. If you have something on your to-do list and it continually cycles on and on and off, give yourself a limit. If it's cycled
Speaking
on
of,
there for 7 days or 14 days, you know what? Maybe you don't need to do it. Maybe you know what? Forget it. No, it doesn't need to happen. It's not a priority, obviously. Get someone,
great
delegate it.
idea.
Delegate it. Boss mode, ladies. Be
Oh,
the boss that
exactly.
you are. And you know what? As an artist, let me just say also, as an artist, I tell people this all the time: dishes will always be there, laundry will always be there, the broom is there. You know what? I was here all week and I finally did all the things yesterday, and it was like
It's fun.
half an hour I was done, maybe an hour. But it's like I didn't have to spend the whole week futzing around with the housework.
Yeah.
Of course, I only have like 5 things here right now. So,
And then you talk
no.
about dishes, and then Sarah was just saying that was one of the accomplishments, washing her husband's coffee dishes. And yes,
Yeah,
I
right? It's
think
a
these
thing.
are amazing things. It really is, like, it lifts me up. Like sometimes I have this focus on, for example, you've probably seen this reel before where they talk about like doing the laundry. It's like putting the laundry in the washer 1 minute, washing the thing 45 minutes, and then putting the laundry away 6 to 10 business days. Like there's a whole thing, right? And I was like, yeah, right. But sometimes I really make an effort to really have an accomplishment. Like I'm putting the laundry in, and my goal is to finish the laundry today. So I have the tendency to let it sit around, and then at some point you don't want to do it. But maybe that could be one aspect of like something you always do long term. It takes you a while, that thing that you have on your list. Push yourself and say, you know what? Today Oh, is that the
Make
bird?
toast. Yeah.
Today, this one time, I'm going to go do it,
Yeah.
And so that doesn't have to be every time. That could be once a month, every other time, because you obviously do your laundry as many times as you do it. And so,
Yeah.
exactly, you need to start
What?
somewhere. And so I think
Yeah.
there's just many things. But anyway, you
Yeah.
go.
One thing that I do is, well, because I'm very visual, shocking. So I bought myself a little time, like an old fashioned timer, like you in the kitchen. And I got one that has a rainbow on it instead of numbers. Well, it has numbers, but it's in increments. But you see the rainbow going around. And so, maybe not every day of the week, but maybe one day of the week you say, okay, so you put the laundry in, it takes 45 minutes, set the timer, and you say, okay, what can I, if it's going to do self-care in the 45 minutes, fine. Or you're going to journal, you're going to do some art, or you have calls to make, use the time that's in the laundry's running to do some other things, but don't do it every day, folks. Like, don't do that. But because that's just not fair to yourself. But, or wash the things and say, okay, in this 45 minutes, I'm going to do all the things that I hate doing. And then they're done, right? Like, so you have 45 minutes. What can you get done in that time? Say one time a week. We all have to wash clothes usually. Of course, now I don't have a washer, so that's convenient.
Unless you keep going buy clothes when you're done.
Okay. Or you use a service, I don't know. But you get the concept. Like, use a timer a little bit and set some goals for during that time, and the rest of the time, go on with your life. But it does help to for me anyway. Sometimes I'll be like, okay, I missed the window because I'm trying really hard to be more disciplined in 2025 to get more done, and I'm doing it. But some days I have to set the timer, like, okay, I've already exceeded my time allotment, so I'm going to set my timer for 15 minutes, and I need to do this thing. So when that timer goes off, that needs to be done, and that kind of helps me like reset my course. So maybe that'll help for you. I used to have a thing I did, and you have like call it power pickup, and use the timer for that, where you go through the house, pick up everything you can in 15 minutes. And you know what? You do that every day. It's amazing how clean your house is.
And it's funny, I do this when I have like people come over.
Well,
Like
yeah,
all of a
right. Like
sudden,
that's
you're
the
like,
best
oh
way.
shoot, they're coming in 10 minutes. And you look around, like, damn, it's all so messy. And then you're like, in 10, it's like, oh my God, it's all
I
clean
know
now.
that's why it's always cleaner, because we always have company. So it's
There
like,
you go.
well, I guess like somebody was like, oh, we want to come stay in your RV now. We're like, we're not even moving. I'm like, well, guess we're gonna get that goal done. Like, that's motivation, because I want it to be really nice for people, right? So do what it takes, people. Do what it takes.
Exactly. And
Invite people
sometimes
over.
you just exactly, maybe this could be your new solution. Is like invite more people, have more people come together. It's a good thing too, because you're gonna get rewarded for the hard work you did prior to this. You're having fun, you're enjoying your time with your loved ones and the people that are coming, because you're obviously not going to invite people you don't care about. So you got a
Well,
double surprise.
unless they're really good friends and they don't care how messy it is, that doesn't
Well,
really
that's
work.
the
You
other
have to
thing.
invite someone that you're going to
Not
be a little bit more motivated.
yeah, that's
Oh my gosh.
well, we could
So
go on and on here
we
about
can,
all these
but I do actually have some work to do. I have a
Yep,
meeting
same.
with somebody up in Minnesota. They actually had warmer weather up there. Whatever day it was, a couple days ago, it was so cold. It was 25 degrees in the morning, and we had snow here in Arizona where we live. Although they had more snow in Tucson where we used to live, I was like, thank God it was just on the mountains. But today I'm sitting outside. It's a little chilly, not going to lie, but I'm thinking it's colder back home. So
All right.
I'll take it. And the sun is coming. It's going to be warm. It's going to be nice and classically Arizona temperatures by the weekend. Of course, when Dean gets back. So it's been a little cool while he's been gone.
Maybe that's why he took the whole warmth with him.
Maybe he did.
He is the warmth in your heart.
Oh. Can we make it do the heart thing?
I don't know if it works.
Oh, somebody's from Canada. Oh, Canada. Where in Canada are you? Oh, it did it. Where in Canada are we from? I've got friends in Calgary. Got some friends in Ontario, and our Fran Schlosser on one side, and Kathy Moffat in Ottawa, Ontario.
Ontario. All right.
Nice.
Toronto. Oh, I got my aunt lives in Guelph, so I'm right around that area sometime.
I think Fran lives in near Toronto, if I'm not mistaken. If I don't know who this person is, it must be a friend of yours, Raditia.
No.
No?
I don't know, Sarah.
Hello, welcome. I have a group called the Global Art Cafe, a public group on Facebook. And Fran Schlosser is, I think, in your area. We've got several people in Canada that follow me and my color affirmation method, the work I do. And if you want to, stay tuned. My goal is to go live every day with colorful affirmations.
Oh, it's Sarah.
My bird is back.
I met her, but now that she says who she is in full name, then obviously, good job. All right, well, awesome. Happy to have you here. Yes, I do know her.
She's like, wait, I know you. Oh, you're dancing?
I just didn't know her handle. That's why.
And then I gotta go. Oh, it's 11:11.
1:11 for me. Look how cool this is.
Oh,
I know. All right, then.
Tell us about your dance page, and we'll see you here next time. I'll do it over. I don't know. I haven't decided if I should do weekends. No weekends? Yes? No? What do we think?
No
weekends. I get to play. Weekends. So we'll see you on Monday with new affirmations for the new week, and be sure to check out all of the websites. Yes. Thanks for stopping by. Let's have a chat soon.
All right, have a great weekend. Thank you. Bye.